In Race and Reunion, historian David Blight shows us how the nation reunites after the Civil War at the expense of Black citizens. Now, this book is 22 or 3 years old, so why am I talking about it now, right? And it's because I believe that after all of this, right, there will need to be another reunification, and maybe this time we don't have to screw it up. This book basically shows us how the country selectively remembered and forgot various parts of the war in order to come together as one, right? That meant that they sort of downplayed divisions among white people and emphasized how both sides were fighting for important causes, right? Which is a lie, to be clear, right? Because we all know what the Confederacy fought for. The leaders of the Confederacy told us this in their letters repeatedly. The war was about slavery. Now, if you'll recall, it was moral outrage over slavery that ignited the war. Think John Brown, right? And the promise of emancipation, Black citizenship, and reparation, you know, those 40 acres and a mule that nobody got, were cornerstones of that fight, right? Most Black people who enlisted in the military or whose labor built U.S. military infrastructure in the South weren't just fighting to get themselves out of slavery, right? They were fighting to end slavery, right? They were fighting for a country with a whole other economic, political, and legal system for everyone. Forever. But we as a nation glossed over that, right? Because it made ex-Confederates and Confederate sympathizers uncomfortable. Because the truth is, once slavery had ended, it was obvious to everyone how shameful it was that we had allowed this institution to persist in the name of our economy, right? Gray, blue, northern, southern, Black and white, we could all see that Black people were every bit as equal as every other human, and to treat them legally as animals and other objects that could be bought, sold, tortured, and worked to death was barbaric. To put that uneasiness to the side, whites who were always in favor of union agreed with whites who had joined the Confederacy, right? That we don't make the memory of this war about slavery. We make it about political differences, right? You like states' rights, we like federal laws. Or we make it about cultural differences. You are agricultural, we are industrial, right? Economic differences. You have planters, we have factory owners. You have sharecroppers, we have factory workers, right? In doing so, the triumph of whites being able to reunite despite our differences became the unified national memory of the war. And to accommodate the entire nation, changed the meaning of death and sacrifice, and romanticized the South as money was put into these white Southern literature, cultural ephemera, and monuments, right? So that's where you get that hoop skirts idea that all enslaved people just loved looking after the Scarlet O'Haras. All soldiers were brave. All ground is hallowed. All perspectives are good. All lives matter. You see where the problem is? You see where I'm going? By forgetting the worst bits of this war, the absolutely abominable horrors, by refusing to remember all those enslaved people who were abused, and by refusing to make it a war of liberation, we together created a present that remembers nothing. And a particular group of people in this present, right, who don't care that their ancestors caused intergenerational harm that is still playing out today. In fact, a lot of those people would prefer to keep causing harm and really hate to be called out for it. Anyway, all this to say, this book is sort of like the dividing line between all historians of slavery, Civil War, and Reconstruction, right? So ask any historian how they feel about it. For the record, to be clear, I'm into it, right? And you'll learn everything you need to know about what their work looks like.